When the Sambal insurance fraud came to light recently, it was later revealed that the fraud was happening in at least 12 states. 500 crore scam shocked the insurance industry, and how this also affect the premium paid by policyholders, because if overall outgo of claim increases, then insurance policyholders also end up paying more premium. So ET now has also spoken to Anukriti Sharma, the additional SP of Sambal, who uncovered the scam. But before that exclusive interview, watch this report.
A massive insurance scam involving fraudulent policies, fake documents and even killings carried out to claim insurance money surfaced in Sambal district of Uttar Pradesh. The estimated fraud amount has been pegged at 500 crore rupees. The Sambal police even made multiple arrests in what is being termed as India's biggest insurance scams. However, you might be wondering, how is this scam relevant to you, and does this really affect you? The answer is an astounding yes. Such scams have a direct impact on the premium amount paid by ordinary policyholders, including you and me. Therefore, it becomes important to know what led to this scam. Here is unraveling the biggest insurance scandal in India's history. It all began in January 2025. A routine police check in Sambal led to the arrest of two individuals. What followed was a nationwide unearthing of fraud. An insurance scam spread across 12 states with a 500 crore rupees loot. Their modus operandi was baffling. Fraudulent policies were issued in the names of terminally ill or deceased individuals. In some shocking cases, healthy individuals were insured and then murdered. Staged as road accidents just to file insurance claims. One patient was even shown to have received treatments months after his actual death. MCD officials allegedly issued multiple death certificates for the same person. Accounts were opened posthumously. eKYC completed with fake photos of dead people.
अच्छा, आशा वाले 80,000 रुपए मिले हैं और जो बीमा करा रखा था उसको कोई पैसा नहीं मिला। अच्छा, तो ये तुमने अपने बीमे के कागज तुम्हें पता था तुम्हारी पिताजी का बीमा हो रखा है?
अरे हमारा अल्लाह बता रहा मैं क्या करूं तुम्हारे यहाँ।
कागज तैयार करवाए तुमने कुछ?
ना हमने नहीं करवाया बीमा के।
अच्छा,
उस हमने गे आशा वाले का को करवाया।
आशा वाले कागज तैयार करवाए, वहाँ से तुम्हें सरकार की तरफ से पैसे मिले हैं?
80,000 मिले, वहाँ पे हम 10,000 आ गए।
तो सर पॉलिसी कराई थी मैंने, और जो भी था उनके माध्यम से कराया था। और सर इसी बीच में मेरी पत्नी, भाई खत्म हुआ, पत्नी खत्म हुई, तो इसी दौरान एक कॉल।
पत्नी कब खत्म हुई थी तुम्हारी?
2021 में।
अच्छा।
और सर इस बीच में मैं तो नौकरी करता हूँ बाहर, तो कोई सर्वेयर वगैरह पहुंचे थे 2-3 बार, और 2-3 बंदे थे, वो मेरी बच्ची से पता ना क्या लिखवा कर उस पर साइन करा के ले आए 2 बार।
अच्छा, कौन?
करण मिश्रा नाम बता रहे हैं।
अच्छा, और कोई गया था उनके साथ?
हाँ सर, उनके साथ में थे 1-2 बंदे, उनकी जानकारी नहीं है।
अच्छा, तो तुम्हारी क्या पासबुक वगैरह कहाँ थी?
मेरे सर पासबुक, किताब सब कुछ उन्होंने ले रखा था, चेक बुक भी।
चेक बुक भी उन्होंने ले रखी?
जी सर, बोले कि सर्वेयर को चेक देना है, तू चेक बुक दे दे। और सर मुझसे 1-2 चेक पर साइन भी करा लिए थे, और बाकी अपने आप कर लिए उन्होंने।
अच्छा, ठीक।
जी सर, चेक बुक में पेमेंट भी आया है 5 लाख रुपया, और सर वो सब निकाल के फिर उसके बाद मुझे चेक बुक दे दी, किताब भी दे दी।
A case came to light where a man was murdered in 2022, but 7 policies were taken out in his name after his death. The fraudsters claimed 78 lakh rupees from these 7 policies. A year later, they repeated the same. This time, the claim amounted to a whopping 2.6 crore rupees. What shocked police the most is that victims did not even know that they were insured. Most of the victims were uneducated, misled, or even simply manipulated. From IIB's failure to flag multiple policies in a short span, to zero coordination among insurers, to banks clearing post-death withdrawals, this scam has exposed deep systemic failures. Investigators with prior fraud records continued working with new companies due to lack of blacklisting or regulation. Report by Anurag Shah, ET Now.
So now I'm joined by Anukriti Sharma, Additional SP Sambhal. Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking to ET now. This mega insurance claim fraud, which is uncovered by you and your team, it's certainly it's eye opener for many in the insurance industry also. How the fraudulent claims were happening through fake death certificates. So just to begin with, I want to understand from you, how did this entire scam first come to light? Where did it all begin? How you got to know? How your investigation got the details? And till now, how many people have you arrested in this case?
So this all began on the intervening night of 17-18 January this year, when we intercepted a vehicle which was suspicious, which seemed suspicious, and it was boarded by two individuals, Omkareshwar Mishra Karan and Amit. And from these two people, we recovered around 19 debit cards, out of which only 4 were in their own name, while around 15 were in the name of other people. When we asked them that how come Babita or Naseem Jaha's debit card is lying in your wallet, they had no specific answer to these questions. They were also carrying 11 lakh 50,000 cash, which was a lot of unexplained cash, and they were not able to give us a satisfactory answers to our questions. When we looked through their mobile phones, we recovered more than 1 lakh photographs and 30,000 documents, and most of these photographs were of extremely poor people. There were a lot of policy papers, there were a lot of treatment papers of cancer, tuberculosis, or liver, and we had to make a sense of all these pictures. In those policy papers, we found one policy of one person named Subhash, who was a resident of Bulandshahr. And since Bulandshahr is very it's a bordering district of Sambhal and very near to Thana Rajpura, so we thought that we'll send a team who will pose as an insurance agent and ask the nominee, because in those documents it was clearly mentioned that the nominee has received 10,27,000 rupees, and it was also written in those chats that how the Nexus people have shared the policy amount among themselves. So we thought that we'll go to Sunita and we'll confirm if she has received the amount. And we also knew the bank in which the amount has been credited. We went to Sunita's place and we said that we are from an insurance company and we have credited 10,27,000 rupees into your account of so and so bank, and have you received it? And she was like, which policy? I didn't get any policy done of my husband.
Okay.
What are you talking about? And then we showed her the picture that if you have not done any policy, why is your picture in our accused phone? So she said that when my husband was ill, he was about to die, Asha came and she said that there are a lot of government schemes through which she can get some financial assistance for her husband's treatment, and if the treatment fails post his death, she'll get a good amount. So therefore I gave my Aadhaar card, I gave my PAN card, and I signed at few places. She's an illiterate woman who can just make a sign, otherwise she cannot read. So, and she didn't know that a policy has been started in her name. She didn't know that there was a bank account in a particular bank. And the most surprising aspect was that the amount has been withdrawn through self checks, whereas the nominee, the account holder, denied that that person had ever visited that bank. So that came as a shocker to us. And when we confronted those intercepted individuals with these questions, so they finally accepted that they belong to a nexus, which is an interstate nexus which involves a lot of people, and they fraudulently insure the terminally ill people and keep complete control over nominee's account and siphon off the entire claim benefits. So this is how the entire thing started. And uh, like Sunita, we approached a couple of victims. We got more than 18 FIRs registered, and more than 60 people we have apprehended so far and have sent them to jail. 3 have surrendered, and around 13 people have been arrested in 4 different cases, which were previously registered as FIRs for accidents, but they turned out to be murders. So 13 have been sent to jail in those cases.
Certainly, so many linkages in this case. But just I want to understand how did the gang use the names and identities of terminally ill or dead individuals? Do you believe that similar gangs are operating across the country also? Because if insurance claim outgo increases, policyholders also end up paying more premium, and claim outgo also increases due to the fraudulent claims. So, do you believe that similar gangs are also operating across the country?
So, see, the benefit of insuring a terminally ill person is that you have to pay very less premium. They were always on lookout for people who will not survive for long, whose families are extremely poor, uneducated, and who are very gullible targets. And in identification of these targets, it was the ASHA worker of the village or the pradhan who used to help them identify their targets, because it is the ASHA workers who gets to know at the first hand that who is a person in the village who is suffering from terminally ill disease and will not survive for long. Reason for having a person who will die soon is that you have to pay less premium. If a person will die after 1 year, then you will have to renew the policy and you will have to waste money. So they were always on lookout for such people. They'll approach them. The Nexus used to approach them um, but on the name in the name of some government scheme, and fraudulently they'll dupe them into giving them Aadhaar cards or PAN cards, and then they'll fraudulently open the accounts as well. So that is how they operate. And when you were asking that in how many states these gangs are operating, see, from our accused, we recovered passbooks belonging to people who were residents of states from west to east, from Gujarat to Assam. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, you name a state, and we have passbooks of those residents. So
Okay.
they said that their people are operating in other states and they have not penetrated into the southern part of India because they are not fluent in local languages.
Details are really shocking, and were really cases where people were murdered just for insurance claim, because it's really unbelievable that for insurance claim also gangs are working who are killing people for insurance claim, and how this whole modus operandi was there, and how many people were murdered, that you have unearthed in your investigation, that people were murdered just for insurance claim.
Yes. So we also, during our investigation, we came across few cases where we found that a young, healthy individual was first insured with a lot of policies. We found that one person, Aman, had around 7 policies in his name. We also found that there was an FIR registered of accident in his name, and there was an FR, a final report filed by the police in this case, because it was written in FIR that Aman has died due to accident by unknown vehicle. And since the police could not trace the unknown vehicle, the person, the police is filing a closure report because they could not trace the vehicle. When I looked into this case, it was suspicious to me that how come a person who is basically hand to mouth, Aman was not very rich. He has 7 policies in his name worth rupees 2 crore 70 lakh rupees, and they were all started. The RCD of all these policies were between few months, like 3 to 4 months. No sane person would buy so many policies in his name, and that person automatically some day dies in accident. And when I confirmed it, when I took data from insurance companies, I realized that few people have applied for claims of Aman's policies. And when we linked all the numbers and when we worked on data, we actually found a gang who had not only murdered Aman but had previously in 2022 also murdered Salim, staged his murder as accident, and from his murder they were able to claim 78 lakh rupees successfully after his murder. And similarly, they did it for Aman. They were about to do it for another person also. And besides these two murder cases, we also found two other cases which had also happened in my jurisdiction. So in just a span of 10-12 days, we worked out four such murders which were done in 2023, 2022, and 2024. And we reopened the cases, reinvestigated them, and have sent 13 people to jail so far in those cases. So yes, these people were not only ensuring the dying individuals or the dead individuals, but also targeting young, healthy individuals and murdering them brutally and staging their murders as accidents. So yes.
As your investigation found that there was a complete nexus between hospitals, insurance agents, bank employees. So, what role did hospital and government officials plays in enabling these kind of frauds? Can you tell us?
So, uh, government hospitals, we found one case of one person Trilok. This Trilok person had died in June 2024 because of cancer in Delhi. And we can say so because we found his cremation receipts from MCD also and from Nigam Bodh Shamshan Ghat also. Then we found that there were few policies in his name which were started post his death, 2 to 3 months after his death, and to kill him again, because you can claim benefits of a policy only when a person dies after the risk commencement date. So we found that this person was shown to have died due to heart attack, and his entire heart attack documentation was done, which was a forged documentation prepared with the help of some workers of government hospitals. And they claimed they were successfully able to claim one of the insurance policies also. So the hospitals are involved in preparing fake treatment papers of the life assured. They have also been found. I've heard in the health sector, I have not worked on it. In the health insurance policies, the role of uh, medical staff and hospitals raises a big question mark. With respect to government servants, as you are aware, that to claim the benefit of any life insurance policy or PMJJY also, you have to submit a death certificate. Now, if that death certificate is not genuine, and by collusive corruption or through any other means, you have been able to change the date of death, that can actually decide whether you receive the claim or not. So we found a couple of cases where a person had died in at a particular date, and then his premium was cut or his policy was started after his death, and then a fake death certificate was prepared with collusive corruption with the government authorities. And therefore we have sent village secretaries to the jail, we have also sent ASHA workers to jail, we have sent bank managers to jail. So a lot of government servants are involved in this.
As we said that if overall insurance claim outgo increases due to fraudulent claims, genuine policyholders also end up paying more premium. So your mine premium get increases due to the overall claim outgo, which get impacted due to the fraudulent claims. So I just want to understand, do you think insiders from insurance companies and banks are also involved in this scam, and they also played a important role or a bigger role in helping fraudsters or helping these people, these gangs to to buy insurance policies, to get claim approved. So what was the role of insurance companies and bank employees in this overall scam?
Yes. Banks are involved, as you can clearly see in the case of Sunita. Sunita was not even aware of her bank account existing in a particular bank branch. And so we found ultimately in that case that not only the bank opened her account fraudulently, her eKYC was not done with her knowledge. On the pretext of some government scheme, they went there, they took her fingerprint impression, they took a photograph, they even changed her address in the Aadhaar card without letting her know. And so banks were involved in starting the accounts. They used to give the checkbook passbook and debit card, like all the important papers with respect to that bank account, to the Nexus agents themselves, so that Nexus has complete control over these bank accounts and they can withdraw the money. And later on, we found that Sunita's amount was withdrawn through self checks. Now, self checks cannot be approved or given, cash could be given to any third person who is not authorized to receive the check without the connivance of branch employees. So, they were therefore sent to jail. So, yes, banks are involved, and insurance companies are involved, because as I have learned in these cases, and after after working for more than 4 months on insurance cases, now I have an eye to identify cases which are off nexus, where I could clearly see that this person, because in those investigation reports you have pictures or geotagged photographs of the nominees and life assured. Now they are so poor people that you can easily make it out. And when when you realize that these people don't have the capacity to pay premium, how come they have their hand to mouth existence is an issue for them? How will they start such expensive policies? So the role of claims approver, who all are sitting at those desks, raises doubt in us. I think they are involved with them. And we also got to know from the investigating officers whom we have already sent to jail, they said that through collusive corruption with few people in the insurance companies, they get these investigations allotted the nexus their own case. They get their own cases allotted to themselves for investigation of claims. So they have clearly given us the names also of few people in their testimonies. So yes, their role is doubtful.
As you mentioned that bank accounts were opened for dead individuals also. Someone who died few months back, but their bank accounts were opened. So how were the bank accounts and eKYC processes completed in the names of the people who were already dead? Just want to understand this overall complexity, that how these fraudsters were able to open bank accounts for the dead individuals.
So in Trilok's case, we found that impersonation was used. There was a look-alike of Trilok who was photographed. His photograph is there in Trilok's eKYC documents also. Even during the starting of policy, they make some 15-second video of the life assured, just to ensure that that person is alive or not. In that eKYC video also, they have used the impersonator, and because that person is already dead. So they keep on devising such techniques. It is always a cat and mouse game. So you come up with a solution and they'll find some other way to bypass that. So I think we'll have to continuously work on this. But as far as I have found in my investigation, that they are using impersonators on a large scale. They also change the Aadhaar addresses, and through collusive corruption is the biggest problem, which I found.
I just want to understand one more thing, because you have worked on this case for so many months and you were able to find out the linkages between insurance companies, agents, surveyors, hospitals, and bank employees also. So, in your view, what steps should be insurance companies and banks should take to prevent such frauds in future? Because these kind of frauds impacts every individual. This impact the common people also, because their premium get impacted due to fraudulent claims. So what kind of steps should be taken by banks and insurance companies to prevent such frauds in the future?
See, on 30th June 2025, Sambal Police organized one of its kind conference in the Sambal district itself. It was hosted by police, and we invited people from insurance companies, banking sector, the regulators, ministry, IIB, etc., so that we can together discuss the loopholes which we have identified in this case. We wanted to share our learnings and also let everyone know that police alone cannot prevent this fraud. And if we want to really prevent this fraud, then everyone has to take steps on their in their own capacity, so that together we are able to, with a nexus of good, we are able to counter the nexus of these fraudsters. So in insurance sector, we found that first of all, insurance companies need to start talking with each other. In all the cases, we found that a dead person was insured with multiple policies, or a young individual was insured with seven policies, and the insurance companies did not know that this is a high risk policy, because any sane individual will not get five life insurance policies done in his name. So there is something fishy about it. So insurance companies are not talking to each other. We highlighted this. We also told them that there are no standards for investigation companies and the investigators. So we need to come up with at least few standards or a licensing mechanism for the investigation companies. They are completely running free. There are no eligibility conditions for them also. There's also no fraudsters repository. For example, if a particular insurance company is kicking out few investigation companies because they were found involved in some fraud, then the other company should not employ them. That blacklisted, the list of those blacklisted companies should be available to every person. So talking to each other is more important. From the banking side, we found that most of these fraudulently opened accounts were in small finance banks, because government, with its financial inclusion aim, had given certain lenient provisions or regulation to the small finance banks, which is being misused by the fraudsters. So therefore the regulation of small finance banks it needs to be improved or reviewed. We also found that the bank accounts of the dead people were not being closed timely. Therefore, some people were using it as a loophole to um, insure the dead individuals with PMJJY also. The premiums were being cut after their death because their bank accounts were not closed timely. So that also we found. And there's a lot which a banking regulator can do. IRDAI needs to do a lot. Insurance companies need to strengthen its procedures also. And eKYC, as I told you, that if an eKYC of a dead individual is being done with the help of impersonator, that definitely means that we are lacking somewhere, and we need to revise all our procedures, and we need to use AI for our benefit. We will have to use more and more technology. So that is all what I have to say.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today, and you have given details of the complete scam, that how you were able to uncover the scams, what were the linkages, and you have worked for more than 4 to 5 months on this scam, and you could get all the details, and they were, due to your intervention, few fraudulent claims got stopped also. But it's very important for all of us to understand that how fraudulent claims impacts your premium, because due to fraudulent claims, overall claim outgo increases, and common policy holders end up paying more premium. Thank you so much.